everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tracy with JDL Threads, and in today's video what I would like to do for you guys is we are going to go ahead and use our We Create Vision Pro with this 1/4 inch MDF piece of wood that I cut 20 and a half by 13 inches, 20 and a half by 13 inches that I did cut. And we are going to go ahead and make an Easter door hanger because Easter's coming up and I always like to hang different things on my door. Okay, so again, we're going to be using this 1/4 inch MDF. We're going to be using the We Create Vision Pro laser. And so let's go on over to my cutting table where I can show you the image that I'm going to cut out that I did pick up from Creative Fabrica, and we can get this thing going. We're going to paint it in the end and make it look real beautiful. Again, for me, like, share, and subscribe, and let's head on over to the table. All right, everybody, so this is the design that I did pick up from Creative Fabrica. It's a Happy Easter Bunny design. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get cut out the whole circle out of the MDF material. And then here where it says Happy and Easter and the butterflies and the little flowers, I'm gonna go ahead and cut those out on the plywood. I believe it's 8mm plywood, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, which is going to be, let me show you guys, which is gonna be this thickness here that I used to cut out some other projects, as you can see, that I cut out for Christmas. But this is the size we're going to be using here. I believe it's 8mm. Don't quote me because I could be wrong. So we're going to go ahead and get this design cut out, and it's going to have a 3D effect so that the bunny and the Happy Easter text and the flowers can just come off the board. All right, and we're going to be using 2 different materials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my cut sheet of MDF board over into my laser, and then we're going to show you, I'm going to show you how I go about getting it set up to get ready to cut. All right, everybody, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and refresh my screen because this was the first time that I put that piece of wood in there, and I want to make sure that I have enough space for everything that I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything, and I think I'm just going to move it up just a little bit because now it's way too low down here by this line, and I don't want my circle to get cut off. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just bring it in just a tad. There we go. So now you can see there is not going to get, my circle is not going to get cut off at the top up here. I have enough material, and I also have enough material down here. All right, so I want the circle to be cut, and then everything inside, this is going to be line engraved, and this is going to be field engraved, where it's going to just sketch those eyes out a little bit deeper, and we're going to go ahead and get everything painted up real nice. All right, so the material that I picked was this high density fiberboard MDF. I just clicked on 3mm, and then all I would do is autofocus, and my laser would pick up how close the laser is to that material so it knows where to cut. So let me move my camera over to the laser bed where you guys can go ahead and check it out and see how it's going to measure that material. What I'm going to do is hit autofocus, and you should see the laser head move around. Okay, everybody, so all I'm going to do is now I'm going to go ahead and push start in the software. It says it's going to take approximately 13 minutes to get this cut out and engraved. I'm going to push send. And then I'm going to just push the start button, and I got my little handy dandy water bottle handy just in case we need to put out any fires over here. And I'm going to go ahead and push start on my machine. All right, everybody, so the design has finished cutting out. Let me go ahead and lift it, and before I move it, I want to just double check to make sure that my circle is cut out all the way. If not, I'm going to go back in and just recut that out, but let's see here. So just going to open up the lid and double check. And it looks like that did not cut it all the way through. So I'm just going to do one more pass around the outside of that circle. And I'm going to make the software just ignore everything else, because now all I want to do is go around that circle and do one more pass. So let me get back to the computer and let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, everybody, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make the machine just ignore all these inside line engraves and fill engraves, because I just want to go around that circle and cut it one more time. So I'm going to click on everything, and I'm going to come over here to where it says line engrave, and I'm going to ignore for processing. And then I'm going to click on this little flower, ignore for processing. The butterfly, ignore for processing. Easter, ignore for processing. Happy, and the other butterfly, ignore for processing. Okay, so when I go to my material preview, all I should see is my outside circle, which you see I still have the fill engrave here, so I need to go back in, check my fill engrave, and ignore that also. I'm going to push material preview, and now you see all that I have left to cut out is my circle. I want to click on my circle one more time to make sure that I'm still on cut. Okay, everybody, so I went back in and unchecked everything that I don't want to be cut out or laser engraved and filled anymore. All I want to do is cut out this circle because one pass didn't cut it through. The setting was not high enough. So I'm going to check my material preview over here one more time. Then as you can see, all I'm going to do now is cut out the circle. We're going to click on it just to make sure over here it says cut, and it does. Now I'm going to refresh my screen one more time just to make sure that I have that circle. You see it moved a little bit. So I'm going to just arrow it over just a little and down to try to get it cut as close as I can to where it was before. And that looks pretty good. So once again, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit auto focus underneath the start button. And maybe I'll just bring my speed up here. It's right now currently on 15. Maybe I'll just bring it up a little to about 20. All right. Then we're just going to hit start. It says it's going to take about, what does that say? 56 seconds to get that circle recut. We're going to hit send. I'm going to just go over to my machine and hit this same little start button here. And we're going to go ahead and get it cut out. All right, everybody. So I did go over it with one more cut. And let's go ahead and open the machine up. Check it out and see, did it cut all the way through? And it looks like I can see a drop right there. Yes, it looks like it did cut it out all the way. I'm just going to lift up this here and look at that nice cut out. All right. So let me just grab the bottom piece so I'll know next time when I use this, since I only did one pass the first time, that it didn't cut it all the way through. I'll just do 2 passes next time and it'll cut it completely out. And look at how cute that is. So now all I have to do is I have to take my 8mm plywood and I'm going to cut out the butterflies and the happy Easter designs and the flowers. And yeah, everything's all done. So we'll go ahead and get that set up now. All right, everybody. So what I think I want to do at this point is I want to come over here and I want to put 2 little rectangles in here because I have some ribbon that I want to put through to hang it up on the door to make it like really cute. So we're going to just come up here to shapes. I'm going to come to rectangle. All right, you guys. So I did go ahead and get those 2 rectangles cut out for where I'm going to hang my ribbon. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the happy Easter and the butterflies and the bunny face all cut out on my 8mm wood. So I'll do that now. Okay, everybody, so all the pieces have been cut out. I'm just going to lift up the lid, raise up my piece of material so you guys can see that it's been all cut out. And then I'm going to take it all over to my table where my round is. We're going to place our cut out pieces on top of that so you can see how it looks. Nice, all cut out. So now just let me grab this out and we'll head on to the table. Okay, everybody, so all the pieces have been completely cut out from the MDF material as well as the basswood. So this is what it looks like unfinished. All I have to do now is go ahead and get it painted. We'll paint it up, add on our little ribbon, and this door hanger will be ready to go. So I'll be back to show you how I painted it up and how we finish it off.
Hi everybody, today we are going to paint the Happy Easter door hanger.
Okay, everybody, so all my pieces have dried and they've been painted and Mod Podged. So I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to glue it all together. Here it is. Happy Easter with the bunny. So what I'm going to be using is my Type Bond wood glue to put down some of the bigger pieces. And then I'm going to be using my Dollar Tree glue, super glue, for like the word happy and the word Easter, because those are kind of small. So I think what I would like to do is just go ahead and start with my Tide Bond glue here. And I'm going to put some down where the bunny goes. Just like that, a nice generous amount, and try to stay inside the lines, you guys, just like so. And then I also found this little brush, this little glue brush, and I think I did get this from my favorite spot, AliExpress. And we are just gonna go ahead and press the glue down all over this little guy right here, around the ears and everywhere. And as you guys can see, I did have the outside of the bunny line engraved on the round, but then I also went back and put the line engraved and the scoring on the actual bunny, because I decided to make it 3D on the extra piece of wood. And so I wanted to be able to know where to put the pieces, so I did recut that piece. All right, so I'm just gonna be spreading my glue like this. everybody, so what I decided to do was I decided to take some of this Dollar Tree decorative mesh, and I'm going to add it into these holes up here, except I'm going to use this blue one here because I don't want it to be pink on pink. And then I'm just going to take some of this craft copper wire that's usually used for making bracelets and jewelry and things like that, and we're going to intertwine it into this mesh so that we can have the hanger be a little bit more stronger. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cord and I'm going to just wrap it around this mesh like this, because I really did want to add this mesh in to make it be like real pretty. All right. And then probably what I'm going to do is just get my stapler and just tack this down on the back side, so it won't be so much of that mesh coming out. I don't mind a little bit of it, you know, being a little bit free, but I don't want too much of it to be like that. So again, we're just going to come in from the back side and make the little knot in the back. And then we have our hanger. All right, everybody, so here is how it looks once I put the little string on the back. And I decided that I'm just going to leave these little grassy like edges wild instead of cutting them off, because it kind of reminds me of like the grass that be in the Easter basket, you know, the garland or whatever you call it. So I think I'm just going to leave that like that. And then all I did was just I took my lighter and I kind of burned some of the edges just so they wouldn't be so fly away. And then I also decided that I want to put this little bow on. So I just cut a nice little strip right down there, just tied it in a knot, as you guys can see. And then I also just burned the edges just like that, so they wouldn't be all stringy, fly away everywhere. And then we're just going to glue it on with the Dollar Tree super glue right at the top like that. And then we are all gonna be all done, everybody. So let me just get my little super glue here. I'm gonna put some like right in the center here, a nice generous amount. And then I'm just gonna hold my bow there for a few seconds. So that it can catch. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make your lasered Easter egg door hanger. Let me show you that bow action. There you go. There's that bow action. Isn't it just so cute? And that's how you make it. Your Easter Bunny door lasered hanger. So cute.